yeah.
Why?
Them call me a closer. I don't learn to drop in my freestyle. For you, and you, for you. Say, girl, I wanna fly you to Ghana. Ghana, baby. Girl, I wanna fly you to Ghana. Ghana, baby. Say, girl, I wanna fly you to Ghana. Say, girl, I wanna fly you to Ghana.
Hello guys, welcome to Boxing Blogs and the home of Nigerian Fan Boxing. Please, if you're new to the channel, make sure you click the like and of course the subscribe button right now, and also go to the notification bell icon, click it and select all. So to wrap it bang a new exclusive video, definitely be notified. So let's just go straight to it right now without hesitation. So Francis Ngannou, the baddest man on the planet. I wouldn't call him the former UFC heavyweight undisputed champion, because in my opinion he's still an undisputed champion. He's still the king of that division, of the division in the UFC. You know, we all know that he's being stripped of his title due to the fact that he didn't sign with resign with Dana White, with the company, because he felt like there were some things there, some fishy things. He has some demands. I mean, I didn't know that in the UFC the fighters there don't have health insurance. Like, that is mad. I mean, you mean those guys put their life on the line, no health insurance, and if they were to die in the ring, in the octagon, so nothing, like, will be no compensation, nothing. Like, that's wild, bro. And I think Ngannou is fighting for the right of the fighters. You know, he's not just fighting for his right, he's fighting for the right of the fighters. And now everything is all about money. I mean, you can make money and stuff like that, but what happens if you sustain a long-term damage? You know, that would ruin your career forever. And I think Dana White needs to come out of that. Like, this is like a slave. I mean, like a slave market, in my opinion. I don't want to use that word, but you know, the contract. Yes, you make money, but even for boxers, there is no health insurance. But boxers make way more than the UFC fighters. You know, Anthony Joshua made more money fighting Charles Martin than Ngannou did fighting Stipe Miocic. That's a fact. So, well, Francis Ngannou has said that he would love to fight Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury for his first potential boxing match, and that's a huge call from him. Let's of course hear from him right here. And shout out to MMA Hour with Ariel Elwani. You know, the guy's very, very good. Boxing sports journalist. I have to give him credit for that.
Why didn't the Fury fight materialize?
I don't know. I think he's retired, come back, want to fight the Usyk and all those stuff. I don't know where he's at right now, but I'm going to find out.
You're going to find?
Is it time? Yes. Is it time before, you know, besides those social media, those teas couldn't do anything concrete, but now we can engage the talk, do everything. So it's time.
And every time he talks
figure that out.
Every time he talks about you as a boxer, he says like, "Oh, let's do a special fight with the gloves." But my feeling is you want to have a real boxing match with him. Like, you want to beat him in boxing, like it was with the normal gloves, normal rules, all that. Is that fair?
Well, whatever it is, if it's with Tyson Fury, I would take it.
Okay.
You know, I have no problem doing boxing with 4 ounce gloves. You know, so yes, we were talking about something little hybrid, maybe the 4 ounce gloves, maybe inside the cage, or I don't know. We will figure out.
Do you have an ideal first boxing opponent if boxing is next for you? Is there one guy in particular that you think makes sense for the first boxing match?
Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua?
Francis Ngannou started as a boxer, you know, and he began his career as a boxer because, let's say in Africa, boxing is not really even MMA. Anything mixed martial arts is not something your parents would advise you to go into. In fact, let me not say Africa, I would say Nigeria. Okay, I would say Nigeria. In Nigeria, like, you don't tell your parents you want to become a boxer or you're a mixed martial artist, or bro, they will literally flog the head out of you. Like, they will tell you, so you want me to spend all this money in your school for you to learn something, become a doctor, an engineer, scientist, something productive. They feel like, being a fighter is nothing like, it's just the same as anything sports. They don't like it. But it's like right now, like, parents are beginning to, understand the sport a little bit. They've begun to, like, accept the fact that their kids may become a footballer, for example, because we all know, there is a lot of money in it. But before, that wasn't the case. People, I remember I used to, tell my mom lies and stuff like that before I went to the field to play football. Then I would tell her, oh, I'm going to see a friend, stuff like that, and we will lie just to go play football. Because if we say we're going to play football, that would be it would be a big problem. Like, I will get my ass whooped. That's a fact. Now, Francis Ngannou, of course, has named the Fury and Joshua as his two primary boxing targets. Now that is a free agent, of course. They said, I don't know where Fury is at right now. We know, of course, we just you watch that. Fury is not reliable. I have to say that Fury is not reliable. Fury is just one guy that goes in and go out. But Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua, that would be a monster matchup. Of course, Joshua should win. Francis Ngannou, despite him starting as a boxer, gave up in boxing and pursued MMA instead, when he arrived in France. You know what I mean? So whether he does well against a master like a monster like Joshua in the ring, in the octagon, he beats Joshua, no doubt. He beats Joshua in the octagon. He would destroy Joshua. He would destroy Fury. It will be Fury will be even much worse, because Joshua, at least I've seen Joshua do some leg kick, and Joshua is very good, Fury, on the other hand, bro, that guy is like, he will be very easy target. Ngannou will just break him into pieces in MMA. That's fact. But in boxing, Fury will tow him, and Joshua might as well knock him out. But Ngannou, one thing I've noticed is that never count this guy out, because when he started MMA, he had zero experience. He has zero experience. And what he did was he built his way up and he mastered the sport. At some point, I remember people were like saying, Ngannou doesn't know how to wrestle. All he knows is just to go forward and hit and try to hit you, and if he can catch you, then he gets tired, stuff like that. What Ngannou did in that Stipe Miocic rematch surprised me, the way he was able to control that fight and knock him out. Like, the way he knocked him out alone, it was a well strategized plan. Fury right now is busy playing my game for Usyk. We don't know if the fight is happening. Fury will say, oh, I'm retired today, and the next day. Like, it seems to me like the Fury Usyk fight, the undisputed fight, the boss is not there. Like, the money is not being presented. This guy's expecting Saudi Arabia now to drop 200 million on the table or 500 million on the table. But the thing they forget is that they are not Anthony Joshua. Commercially, Joshua is a big name. And if Ngannou fights Anthony Joshua, he might not win. He might not win. In fact, Ngannou even said he'll be willing to box in July. He'll be willing to fight maybe Deontay Wilder. Like, this guy right here has no fear of anybody. He wants to go in there. And I think in all this fights that he's talking about right now, he has a chance. He's an heavyweight. heavyweights always have puncher's chance. That's a fact. That's why they're heavyweights. It's like you don't expect Canelo, for example. Canelo is a master boxer. He's a monster of a man, but he can never beat Ngannou. That's facts. Ngannou has no experience in boxing, but Canelo does not beat Ngannou. Ngannou knocks him out cold. Facts. This is what I'm talking about. Heavyweights are heavyweights for a reason, and Ngannou is not afraid of anybody. In fact, if he cannot beat you in boxing, he would knock you. He would squeeze you. He would break you to pieces in MMA or in MMA way. Facts. Boxing is mixed martial arts, but I'm talking about, you know what I mean. The core MMA. So, what do you guys make of Francis Ngannou's demand? Say, listen, he would love to face Joshua Fury or Deontay Wilder. He's ready. He's ready. He says so. What do you guys make of it? Let's, of course, hear it again, by the way.
Yeah, pro boxing.
Wow. Do you think we see Francis Ngannou compete in anything? July, June, May? What are you feeling at this point?
Hopefully somewhere the latest will be July, I would say so.
Okay.
Hopefully. So at least twice this year.
Okay. And what is your gut telling you? Leaning boxing or MMA in this fight before July? What are you thinking?
My gut, I would say boxing.
Boxing, okay. And a pro boxing bout.
Yeah, pro boxing.
Wow. But
pro boxing.
And do you know where?
I really want to feel that. Not yet.
Okay. And you don't know with who?
But I'm gonna find out. I'm working on it. I'm on it right now.
Do you think we?
So you guys heard it from Francis Ngannou, like he loves boxing. I mean, boxing was his first love. So you cannot really deny that. So Dana White said the things he said to make this guy look bad, but on the reverse, people are really agreeing with him because they know that, listen, what he's saying is the truth. And that's facts. So what do you guys make of this right here? Ngannou versus Joshua or Fury or Wilder in boxing? What chances do you give Ngannou in that fight? I know a lot of boxing fans will say, no, we don't want to see that. But believe me, Ngannou, despite having zero MMA technique, MMA experience in the past, trained hard for it, and he became the baddest man on the planet in MMA in the UFC. And I think in boxing, boxing being his first love, he would even dedicate more time to it as well. Of course, boxing has so many corruption and of course so many things. I think Ngannou has to be aware that in boxing there are so many dubious people. But I think he knows that already, and he already has a name. Any fight he's in right now, I'll watch it. If it's MMA, I will watch. I definitely watch. If it's boxing, I will watch. Even though I know he might not be the top dogs, but if he builds himself up, I think he can make it. People might say, "Well, it's too late." He's almost 40, stuff like that. But he can make it, guys. If Derek Chisora, whom has 12, I think he has 13 losses on his record right now, can still be here with us and entertaining us. Bro, Ngannou on the other hand is a monster, and he carries a punch from hell, bro. AJ Ngannou, wow, what a fight that would be! Wow.